It's never gotten boring because our weather is so interesting around here.
Dave Dahl learned that early on in his KSTP career, back when he was a behind-the-scenes weather producer. He was keeping an eye on the radar the summer of 1977 during the state fair.
The total screen went black.
Dave says he'd never seen anything like it.
What it was the heaviest rain that you can see on radar, and it was covering the whole screen.
The storm absolutely deluged the fairgrounds, making it almost impossible to get around.
It kind of shocked me into the realization that, yeah, a lot of this stuff is life or death, you know, and that was my first encounter right out of college.
That really sunk in 1981. A storm, known best as the Harmar tornado, ripped into not only the Harmar Mall area, but neighborhoods in Roseville, Minneapolis, and Edina.
There were a lot of graduations, unfortunately. It was a very warm and muggy day, a lot of people outside having picnics.
2 people died, around 100 were hurt across the Twin Cities. So many more were left with a terrible mess.
It seemed like it took a long time to recover after that because there was so much damage.
Being this far north, you know winter has to be frozen into Dave's memory.
It's her first house for trick-or-treating.
And there's one storm he wishes he could forget.
Early in that storm system, we were calling for a couple of inches of snow.
It turned out to be so much more.
It is the most snow to ever fall in the Twin Cities in a 24-hour period.
28 inches over 3 days in 1991.
Who would call for 28 inches of snow in October? You know, nobody.
The infamous Halloween blizzard.
Right now, we're at 27 inches.
The kids were affected by it the night of Halloween. They're out Halloween. So it was snowing heavily when the kids were out trick-or-treating. Probably limited the amount of candy kids got. It's one of those unusual events that I hope I never see again.
But there's another one Dave says left the biggest impression of all.
Then it just kind of culminated in a bunch of thunderstorms kind of merging right over east central Minnesota, and they just sat there for hours.
We're probably getting very close to 5 inches of rain here on the Midway.
And we have some more scenes from the damage area tonight.
The 1987 superstorm, July 23rd and 24th.
I was on the air for hours and hours, it seemed like.
Standing water you should never try to venture across with your car.
How deep would you guess that water is?
Oh, about 4.5, 5 foot anyway.
Unbelievable. The whole 494 was flooded, and it looked like you couldn't get through there until all that water just decided to drain off.
You might want to head for higher ground.
You can see a car here floating.
But Dave says most people probably couldn't see his warnings.
So much of the power was out across the Twin Cities.
I was on for so many hours and didn't know who I was broadcasting to, but kept on going, just because we knew that there were people out there that wanted to know the information. That's one of our rules here, 1 or 1,000. We want to get the message out.
It's a thought that brings Dave back to his childhood. The 1965 Fridley tornado went near his Circle Pines home, giving Dave a healthy respect of what weather can do.
It also inspired him to learn more about the quirks of Minnesota weather and protect countless people in his home state.
I'm so fortunate. I count my blessings all the time, being able to work in a place that I grew up and work for a wonderful station, work for a wonderful family that has allowed me to do what I love to do.